Hello, listeners, and thanks for tuning in to the Spotlight Success Series, where it's all about sharing success tips and strokes of genius to help you avoid making big mistakes in your business and get you to success. Becky Auer is your host. She'll be interviewing entrepreneurs, business owners, innovators, and experts who have had the spotlight and success and are ready to share their knowledge with you.
Well, welcome everybody to another episode of the Spotlight Success Series. This is Becky Auer, and I'm your host today, and I am so excited to have my guest with me who is going to share so many strategies and tips to help you succeed in your business. Her name is Arlea Hoffman with True Fit Marketing, and when I say she is a rock star in her industry, she is a rock star. Up-and-comer, killing it, years of experience, but she just keeps growing her business. Arlea, are you with us?
I am. Thank you so much for having me today, Becky. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited to have you. And listen, our listeners look for people just like you that are out there doing it, helping other people every single day and putting things into a system and having, success with all of it. So I'm so excited to have you and just talk to you a little bit about your journey and have you share some tips and success strategies so people can learn from you. So are you ready to get started?
I sure am.
Woohoo! All right, let's do it. So tell us a little bit about True Fit Marketing and how you're helping your clients.
Sure. So True Fit Marketing is a full-service marketing advocacy firm. And what makes us different than most marketing agencies is we really do consider ourselves advocates for our clients. There are so many different things you can be doing with your marketing, so many advertising opportunities and people reaching out to you as a small business owner. And it's so hard to know who to trust and what options to actually pick. And so our agency is first and foremost your marketing advocate. So not only do we offer the marketing services for you, but we also actually reach out to other advertising opportunities, or if someone from the community, we love when people are really involved in their community. And so we are kind of that person that helps educate you on what those opportunities really are and help you decide, yes, this is something that you should be doing. No, it's something, maybe you want to do it, but that's not going to give you the best return on investment right away. Or, yes, this is something in the community we really think is important. And so we offer in-house logos, websites, pretty much any type of technology advertising or digital advertising that you can think of. But really, we are an advocate for you and really helping educate business owners on what those opportunities are and where's the best place to start.
Wow. Well, I think it's so important, especially for people just starting out or for people who have, most small business owners have a limited budget, right? So we have, let's just say it's, $3,000 and we want to do some type of marketing or making our business better through branding or whatever. You don't know what to do with it. And a lot of people just go right to Facebook, right? And, try and run a Facebook ad and they lose their money in, a couple of days and they don't get any results. So I love that you are an advocate for the small business owners. So tell us some of the benefits and advantages of, when you provide, as you like to say, full transparency, reporting. Tell me a little bit about that and what you do, how you do that and why you do that.
Absolutely. So education is at the forefront of everything that we do. And so one of the very first things we do after your first month of working with us is actually go over very in-depth reporting. We make it very easy for a normal business owner to understand because there's so much analytics and reporting capabilities we have. But it's so important for the business owner to really understand what their goals are and what that really looks like as a return on investment. And so we offer such transparent reporting. Nothing is ever set in stone, and that is so that we can test different types of advertising and different types of plans for our clients and see really what works for them. But if something didn't go well, that's actually not a bad thing. We now have learned that that advertising avenue does not work great for you. And so we're going to adjust the dollars, but we would have never known if we didn't take that in-depth look with the transparent reporting to say, hey, this actually didn't work this month. We're going to move this over to this other program and try it out, because marketing is a huge testing opportunity to see what works best, what doesn't, and then continue adjusting towards those successes.
Yeah, I love that because, A, most people don't know to test, right, because they don't know what they don't know. And if they're not a savvy marketer or if they're just starting out as a business owner, they're learning everything else, but they don't know, to take one piece and test a headline, for example, or to test, the message, for example. So I love that you do that, and I love that you are helping clients do that through your agency. So bravo, because I would say most people say, well, just pay me, right? And, we'll take care of it from here, but you don't learn anything as you do that. So I love that about TrueFit marketing. It's really kind of become your mission, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Training and educating businesses is almost as important to us as it is working with clients. We do a lot of direct work, but really our passion is to also just educate people so they don't get taken advantage of.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute, because I think it's so important for our listeners, because I do feel like small business owners especially do get taken advantage of. So when people go to hire I assume you consider yourself a full-service marketing agency. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, so when someone a small business owner goes to hire a full-service marketing agency, tell me what that should look like and some questions maybe, that they should ask them and maybe costs associated with something like that. Can you explain that a little bit?
Absolutely. One of the very first and most important things that I believe that business owners forget is that it's a two-way relationship. So not only should the partnership be really good for the business itself, but it should also be good for the agency you're working with. An agency is much more likely to work really hard for you if they enjoy the relationship as well. So one of the most important things that we tell businesses is it's very important to find an agency that has the same feel, that has the same, you enjoy your meetings, you have fun. One of the best compliments we've ever gotten, we were doing a testimonial, and the best compliment we got is that every time they come, we laugh the whole time and have such a good time. That is our goal. Our goal is to take the stress out of marketing. And so that relationship is one of the most important parts for building an agency partnership. Another thing that people don't realize is that you don't have to be locked into a contract. It does help protect the agency if there is a contract involved, but we ourselves actually do not have contracts at all. Because our goal every month is, again, to take stress off of you. So if we find 2 months in, 3 months in, this isn't a good fit, we can part ways and we can help point you in the right direction. We do not have that happen very often because we make sure the relationship's important in the beginning. But it's so important to know that that business owner can find their own way and make those own decisions. And our goal is to prove to you the success of your campaigns and your marketing and take that stress off of you. And if we're not doing that for you, then we are not the agency of choice for you. You should be very comfortable and have those decisions. And when it comes to the cost of an agency, it really depends on the amount of services that you have them take over. For example, some of our people only have us manage their website and social media, while others have us manage tens of thousands of dollars in advertising budget. So there is differences on the amount of cost there would be, and a lot of it actually has to come down to your advertising budget and how many services you need taken off of your plate. But the one thing that I would like to mention, Becky, is that it is so important to know that the agency that you're working with has your best intentions in mind. And lots of times businesses can feel that out almost immediately, but you will know. You will know within the first month if this agency is a good fit for you, and that's really what you want to be able to find in an agency.
Well, I, for one, having started 3 businesses, well, 4 really, if you count what I'm doing now, I have to say kudos to you, because to publicly state that it should be a two-way relationship, which most people think it should be, but when they get into a relationship with another vendor, let's just say, and it isn't, then you're kind of stuck because you signed that one-year contract or whatever. So I love, again, the two-way relationship that you said that, that you share with everybody that you're doing work for, and that there is no contract, because that way you, as True Fit Marketing, has to and does prove yourself every single month, or they are free to leave. And if they're a problem client, you're free to leave.
Right.
I think it's such a good
it holds
way.
Everything accountable.
Oh, my gosh, I love it. I think that's so amazing, because especially with full-service agencies, they do want you tied into a contract, at least the ones that I've spoken to, because they want to make sure they're getting their money, and kind of like no matter what. So bravo to True Fit, man. I'm loving it. So explain to us, Arlea, some of the common mistakes that you see small business owners make as they're growing their business.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things, well, I've got 2 right off the top of my head, but one of the first ones is that they try to handle so much themselves, and then more different pieces actually start to falter. So our goal, again, is to come in and really take that marketing stress off of businesses so that they can do what they're best at, which is their business. So the first thing that we see is that so many people are trying to be so many different, they're a small business, so they're trying to be the CEO, the CFO, the CCO, the PR person, the marketing person. And as their business grows, that should be a goal to start delegating that out to different experts, again, that you trust. It needs to be people you trust, right? But you need to start delegating that and getting it off of your plate so that you're not feeling so stressed all the time. Like there's more things than just time in your day. You need to be doing what you're good at, which is your business. And so that is by far the most important. And the second one is, especially, there are times like we definitely need the input of the businesses. And a lot of our businesses actually have marketing managers, and we are a support team for the marketing managers, or we're a support team for that direct owner. Or in some cases, we work with a lot of franchises. We are the support team of a corporate franchise location. And so the first thing that we tell people is you do need to be involved. You cannot just give this to someone and have magic happen. There will be consistent meetings to understand, how is your business growing? What conversations are you having with your own customers on the phone? What questions are you getting that we can help answer, especially with digital marketing pieces? So the other thing that we see is people are like, they either want to be so involved and don't want to take it off their plate, or they just want to hand it over and they're like, here, just do it and make magic happen. When in reality, it's a balance of those 2 things.
Yes, you bet. And you're 100% right that you have to trust, right? You have to trust that person. If you're going to delegate and take that step and take it off your plate and hand it over to you guys, then you absolutely have to have that trust. And I think with, that initial meeting and moving forward, that people, do learn to trust you, and then you end up doing a fantastic job. But having that support for a marketing manager, or having a support for your team, is a major sweeping it off the plate to the next, having the delegation to be able to do that, and then to have the support to back it up, is such an important step to make your business grow, because there's so many micromanagers out there that don't ever want to do that, and their business can never get to the levels where, they are capable of because they can't delegate. Do you run into that issue a lot with people?
We do, and that is when we have those conversations, we might not be the right agency for you because if they're going to be so involved that they're doing it, they shouldn't be wasting their money on having us do it as well. And we do come across that. More so, we come across people that are ready to take that next step and don't want to be involved at all. And again, it's a balance. We still want to talk to you and have conversations at a minimum every month to say, this is how your campaigns are going. These are the new conversations you're hearing, or what are the new conversations you're hearing. But it's just so important to have a very balanced relationship of, we're here to support you and help you make those right decisions because ultimately we want your business to grow.
Yeah, I love that. Well, tell the listeners, if you will, what inspired you to have and start a full-service marketing firm? Because it's not like you just have to learn one thing, right? You have to learn a gazillion things because there's so much moving on with, social media and then the website upkeep and logo and brand development and all that. What started you up as an entrepreneur to say, hey, I want to tackle that?
So when I first graduated from grad school, I actually had a job as the director of marketing and communications for a sports facility. And I sat on the other side of the desk from the consultant. And I was being locked into contracts, and I'm talking 3 to 5 years. And that's when I didn't know you could negotiate those. And I just heard story after story of other marketing managers who were being stuck, and even owners who aren't marketing managers, owners being stuck into these contracts and really being told things and people talking over their heads. And so after years of being a marketing director, I kind of decided, I don't want people to be taken advantage of anymore. And I know I've talked about that a ton. Education is so important to us. And so I really made that switch then to say, I really want to help other small businesses and owners and other marketing directors really be their support staff, but also teach them what can and cannot be negotiable. People don't understand when they're buying even a billboard. There's so many things that can be variable that you can work to your advantage. A lot of people just get a rate and they think that's what it is. And depending on the time of year and how soon they need that billboard filled, there might be some opportunities to negotiate that, and also contract length. So honestly, really, we hear this even now, and it makes us feel really good about what we do because we really do not like people being taken advantage of. And the reason that we like to work so directly with people is because we get to know the local media companies as well. And the more of a relationship you have with them, the more unlikely it is that they're going to try to take advantage of your clients. And so that's really what pushed me personally over the edge to start this. TrueFit is actually the 6th agency that I've launched or helped launch across the country. And so we've really gotten it down to an art form of what partnerships you should make sure you should have, and should you be a part of the local chamber. And it's what makes marketing a little bit different, and especially our agency. We are very grassroots approach. We will figure out which chambers you should be involved in and who you should know in the community to be able to tag and partner your social media with so that you are growing as a community and not necessarily just as a business on your own, but what kind of business community support can we build for you as well, right there where you live.
Wow, I love that. I love that you help people, small business owners, even to that level. It's just unheard of in the industry. So bravo, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now tell me, so you did this, now you're on your 6th agency. When you started doing this and, creating full-service marketing firms, and decided, to be an entrepreneur, what was the reaction from your friends and family about your decision? Did you have a job before? Have you always just done this? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm actually proud to say, which seems absolutely ridiculous, but this is, again, my sixth that I've either launched or helped launch on my own. But my very first agency failed, and it needed to fail. I needed to learn what I needed to know to be successful at doing this. And after that original agency failed, I actually had the opportunity to go work full-time for a media company who then also had me do things that were similar to creating a marketing agency. And my friends and family were so incredibly supportive. And TrueFit itself, again, it's my most recent, but it's been even the most successful because you just keep learning and growing as you go. My family is just like, I've got the spirit. They just think that there's this fire inside of me that I just need to be an entrepreneur and keep doing this and building on and building more businesses. And so I'm very lucky in the fact that my family and friends all 100% support me in this. But I do think it's really important to note that original agency, and I wouldn't even actually say that it failed. It's just, it didn't grow fast enough that I needed it to for full-time income. And so I went back and got a full-time job, and then here I am again doing it again after years, almost a decade later, I'd say, doing this, and things are going strong. And I learned so much in this last decade about partnerships and really what it takes for that grassroots and foundational marketing approach for businesses.
Yes, 100%. I always say to people, because I'm a little bit older even than you, but, you know, there's decades in between, right? And everybody's like, oh, I wish I knew everything you know. And I'm like, yeah, that's like thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars of education and hard knocks and knowing, you know, figuring it out as you go, and hours and hours and hours and hours. So you never, I always tell my members to just never compare yourself, because everybody starts at a different place. And it sounds like that's what you've learned in the last decade is you just keep moving forward one step at a time, and you take your beatings, if you will, and you pull yourself back up and, you know, start over and keep moving forward.
Right. And the one thing I'll mention is this world in marketing is ever changing. So every single day we have to look and make sure everything's similar. It's never the same, but similar to what it was before. And we just take it in stride and know that, and we just know and accept that it's going to change, and we just adjust with it and continue to test and make sure that we're getting the best results for everyone.
Yeah, I love it. Very good. Well, share a lesson with our listeners today, if you will, something that you learned early on that still impacts how you do business today.
Well, honestly, it goes really, the biggest lesson I learned that nothing is set in stone, whether it's how you think things are going to go all the way down to negotiating those contracts. I really did think there was a certain way that you can set it up and just automate things and make things go, but it's never like that. To do the best that you need to do for yourself and for business, you just have to accept that change and be ready to learn and be really flexible and be ready to adjust to the next best thing, because it's always coming, and it's always better. Even though change can be scary, it's always better, and you just have to find that light.
Yeah, that's for sure. Just to remain flexible and remain somewhat stress-free, right? Right.
Don't stress. Like, that's what I tell my staff. That's what I tell our clients. Like, no worries. Even if a client gets a bad review, it happens. We'll figure out what happened. We'll figure out how to make it right. And that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, I love it. Excellent. All right. Well, tell us, what do you think is the most important question that small business owners should ask themselves as they consider to, you know, hire a full-service marketing firm, or to, you know, should they stay doing it themselves? Just share with us maybe a couple question or two that they should consider when they're, you know, out looking.
Absolutely. So the very first question that they should ask themselves is, are they ready to hear the word no? Because so many people, when it comes to their marketing, have a very emotional investment to their business and their marketing. But how they consume marketing might not be how their target market consumes marketing. So it's so important to be ready to come in with an open mind and be ready to hear different ways to think about your marketing. And once we dive down to what a target market really is, that's when we can decide messages and start testing different things. But so many times what that looks like is not at all what the business owner or marketing person expected. And so sometimes we get a little bit of, we have to create some buy-in there that, no, this is what we have. We have data to back this up. We're going to try some different things, but we're going to try to start you out with the best possible results. But we're going to be learning from it, and it might not be anything you ever thought about. So that is one of the first things that I do like to tell clients is this might not be what you thought it was going to be. Are you ready for that? Because it is emotional investment. I mean, I'm a business owner myself, and I'm so emotionally invested in my business that I actually have one of our staff members handle our social media. Now I have input because she sees it more of an outsider. So she gets to see it a little bit more so on how other people view us. And that's so important for a business owner to realize. And another part of that is when you meet with somebody about their marketing, did you get a good feel about them? Is it someone you feel like you could go have drinks with? And I know that sounds absolutely crazy. This is a professional world. But you're going to get a good feel about a person that you're going to do your marketing with, and they're going to represent your business. And it might take some time. Are you ready to take some time to invest in them, learning about your business and really digging down to what works best for you? So those are probably two of my biggest is be patient and be ready to have a relationship with someone. If you've got a good feel about them, be ready to try it for a little while. And also, although you're emotionally invested in your business, it might not be what you expect when it comes to your marketing.
Right. Oh, I love it. Very good. It's all great advice and, learned advice, right? After 10 years plus in the business, you kind of have learned what works for you, what works for your business, and what works for small business owners. So I thank you so much for, sharing all of that with our listeners today. Can you, if somebody wants to find out more about Arlea Hoffman and True Fit Marketing and how you can help them, what should they do? Where should they go? Can you share that information with us?
Absolutely. So one of the best things you can do, we try to be inspirational and funny on our social media. So you can find us on all of our social media handles at True Fit Marketing, spelled just like it sounds, like the real words, True Fit Marketing. And you can also go to that website, truefitmarketing.com. If you want to learn more about myself or my team, you can go right to our About Our Team pages and learn more about our backgrounds because we're very diverse in where we came from and what our skills are. So I would love to hear from anybody that even needs a point in a right direction. We're happy to even point people in the right direction if they need.
Well, that is just great, Arlea. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I can't wait to see how many small business owners, contact you and use your services. It's just been a pleasure to talk to you. And we are going to call that a wrap for today. My name is Becky Auer. I'm your host, and I can't wait to see you next time in the Spotlight.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Spotlight Success Series. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.spotlightsuccessseries.com.